All right, welcome to Top Hill Recording Podcast, the podcast where we ask a band, an artist, a musician to come in, give us 4 original tunes, and then we talk a little bit. Tonight, we have a band that not only have I heard many things about before I ever had the opportunity to see them, but once I did see them, not only did they live up to all the expectations, they blew them out of the water and blew my mind. We got a chance to see them at the Fuzzy Pig with you.
Yeah.
Spencer, you guys were a part of it. And ever since this was on the books, I've been super excited to have this group. But after Fuzzy Pig, I could not wait to get these guys in. Our guest tonight, SadBlackLab.
Take me down to the river, lay me under the water, closed the door and looked through the keyhole, I can feel your eyes move over my flaws like I'm not unequal. You don't have the time, but I have the strength to lay down here like this forever, with your ghost as my anchor. See your eyes, I can still hear you breathing. The sound of your voice still fills my mind, and my ears are still ringing like a lost and frightened fawn in a blinding, raging storm. I can't find my way without your hand to hold and guide me on.
Broken
try to wear a grin.
How's it going, y'all?
Oh,
Awesome.
I'm so
Hey,
grateful to be here
thanks-
tonight with
yes.
you guys.
Thanks so much for having us, guys.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
man. Well,
Thanks for coming on. You sounded great. It was
Holy
cool to
crap.
have you in this room.
yeah. Well, I mean, the two that spoke are returning guests, but not in this fashion. But holy crap, you guys! Before we get going, take a second, introduce yourself. I guess you can tell us what instrument you play. This might take a while for you, Zoe, but yeah, we'll go around the room. You guys start, Greg, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so Greg McIntosh. I play guitar and I sing. I was the first one. What do you guys think about it?
My name is Emily Miller, and I play violin and sing. And sometimes I play violin and sing at the same time.
Seen it,
On a good day.
seen it. It's fact. It's factual. I've seen that
Are you
happen.
the second one?
I'm the second one.
Who shall be the third?
Well,
Ooh.
I'm Cody Hiatt. I play bass, just bass. I think technically, canonically, I'm the fourth.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. There you go.
Canonically.
All right.
I'm canonically the fourth.
Hi, I'm Zoë Blackwell. I play flute, sax, keys, and accordion. And I'm singing a little bit.
Now singing the third part. Holy crap! Not that you're not doing enough already. Add that 3rd part.
You're numero cinco, right?
That's 5.
That's 5.
But yes, yes, I'm.
I mean,
the
mine is,
fourth.
she's 4 and 5.
I think she's 3 and 5. Actually, I think she skipped you. You're 4, and she's 3 and 5.
Well, I was skipping. Guess I'm not skipping.
Well, you guys, seriously. Not only was I just, Earl and Spencer and my wife and I, we had like the prime spot to watch the show when you guys played Fuzzy Pig, and
What a fun weekend that
holy
was.
crap,
Yeah.
that was
The
off the
energy,
chain.
that was everybody though. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
like everybody, the people that were there, like the energy that we were receiving back from everybody, like it's a reciprocal thing, and it made us, it boosted us. We had the best time that
Well,
weekend.
We had a blast.
I don't know how I got there Friday early. Like I got there at like, I don't know, it was probably 2. So I spent the weekend there. Okay. I saw sets. I saw, I felt energy. I felt the vibes. It was an unbelievable weekend from start to finish. It was killer. Every show, every performer. But there were a couple sets that just were, as a musician, as a lover of music, stopped you in your tracks. First night, if I had to, Villamure blew my. They
they're so
absolutely, they were
amazing.
unbelievable. I mean, they are.
Yes.
Yeah, I
have
saw
always
that
been.
too.
I saw
But
them
anyway,
at
did you-
Moonshadow for the first time. I had been hearing really
Oh.
good things about them, and I knew Colin from playing at
Colin
Enchanted
and Kendra.
Forest,
Oh,
and I'd never heard his wife Kendra perform before, and so Bourbon Britches
Bourbon
performed
Britches
as
were
well.
insane.
They were
That's a
up
dope
for
one.
us.
Urban Britches were
Yes.
insane.
Oh, they were fucking.
Mm-hmm.
They were amazing. I
yeah.
swear.
You can,
You can swear? Hell yeah.
They were fucking amazing. Yeah.
Have you met this guy? We usually don't get like 3 sentences in before he's like, fucking.
Well, they were sick. I mean, like, I didn't really know. I think I had a gig the night before in a different band, and like, I got there super late, and like, I saw them and a couple other folks, and yeah, they were just fucking amazing.
It was awesome, but
It was
They
fucking
actually
fiddle
played
battle.
Freebird. They satiated everyone. They satiated everyone with that.
that
And
was
the funny
nuts.
thing is, we've been talking about that a little bit. Like,
I've told so many people about that.
Yeah.
Like 10 people, like people at work. I'm like, you guys should have seen this shit.
yeah, it was amazing. And like Anna Blanton's fiddle solo on.
Anna Blanton went
on
nuts.
that
She was like,
touched me.
what
like,
is
fiddle
going-
to fiddle? You know.
Yeah, it was killer.
Well, they really did the thing, and it was like, oh, you're doing the whole song.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
you're
it.
doing the whole
That-
nine. You're doing the whole 9 minutes.
I think that was
Yeah.
the thing. You know, it started off like, oh yeah, play Freebird, and then, and it started off kind of like, oh, they're just playing around. They're not going to do anything, and then all of a sudden you're
No,
in the
you're like,
solo. And
yep.
you're going,
They did the whole.
What?
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
We were just joking a second ago, weren't we? I thought we weren't going to do this, and then all of a sudden it was just, it was insane. But standout set, everybody was amazing. I mean, everybody was awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
everybody there.
But you guys come in. I do believe you're the last show in the barn. Is that right? Did you all shut the barn down, or was
Think
there?
so.
I believe
I
so.
think- I think
don't
you
think there
guys-
was anyone after
And
us.
kudos before we do anything to Nate. Nate absolutely killed it.
The
with
sound
the
was
sound
great.
Yeah.
was phenomenal coming out of the barn. I know that there was a little issue with the big stage at the end of the night, but you guys, it was one of those times where we're on the side, right? We got this cool side view of what you are experiencing, the separation of the barn, and then everybody else. And then we get the field, we get the vendors, we get, Brady and their trailer and the other side of the. Everybody was in. There wasn't anything else going on when you guys were playing, and that does not. There was a couple sets that happened, and you guys, I think, really kind of.
We felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like I looked out there a couple times. I had sunglasses on, so I couldn't see very well in the night. But
It felt like a very engaging set. Like,
yeah, it was
know.
like, yeah.
It felt like
I tend to keep my eyes
back
closed
to
a
us.
lot, but when I do open them up, and at Fuzzy Pig, when I did open them, I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. All right.
there was people matching your energy. I mean, there were people right
Yeah.
there, and then not to kind of take a step back to another wow part of the thing was, you guys are super fresh as the 4 of you as a group. I think that was your second time playing together totally. Was that right?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's-
like playing out.
that's
We've been rehearsing a lot over
stupid.
the winter.
A lot, so.
to get to fit everything
generous.
together. But like,
you guys jumped in. What? When did you start playing with this, Cody? Like, we started rehearsing maybe like January or February or something like that.
It wasn't
right?
January.
February. I mean, it was.
February,
It
yeah.
hasn't been that long. It's really been pretty quick. And then
This was in April, right?
Yeah.
at the end of April,
was
last
Scram-
weekend in April.
Was Scramp our first time, the 4 of us?
Yeah.
I think so. I think
it
so.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played Scrimp Scampy.
It's been a weird spring.
Yeah.
It went really
Yeah.
fast. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's the nature of the way that things kind of kick off once festival season comes. Everything just kind of hits and hits and hits.
A little bit.
yeah.
But
This year.
the fact that where you were when we saw that set, that kind of blew everybody away. I don't know if it, on your end of things, is it confirmation to you all that what you've done is correct, that you've added the pieces that fit the puzzle.
It's
that
been
make
extremely
what's
affirming. Yes, it has. Absolutely.
100,000%.
It feels like
1,000%.
it kind of does feel like some of the effort that we've been putting in, Emily and I, and our old bass player Ellis, who's still a good friend of ours
Yeah.
as well.
He's going to be popping in on a gig here and there, probably. You
It
know, if
feels
we have a
like
scheduling issue. But
it feels like it's coming back. Like it's starting to kind of like we're getting like some return on our, busting our asses or whatever.
Mm.
Mhm.
It's been very affirming, and it's been really yeah, just different, like
Yeah.
when something changes and it's like, okay, we were playing shows at dive bars locally, which we still do, but okay, there might be like 5-10 people in the room, and then suddenly there's like 20, 30, 40, 50 plus at every gig. Like the gigs are coming more organically. Things just seem to be moving.
Well, also, like when we started playing when Greg and I started playing, that was like in the middle of COVID. So
like right before.
there's that factor to take into consideration. But I feel really good where we're at now because when Greg approached me about making this music, and like I gravitate towards anything that has like kind of an alternative edge toward like to it. So I feel like we have dived deeper into the textures with our friend Zoe joining us. And then we've also dived deeper into the alternative edge with Cody because he's a very seasoned player, seasoned noise musician, seasoned punk musician. So
Travels with pedals.
Things are just continuing to get weirder.
Yeah, well,
and we mean that in the best
people are
way.
responding.
That's a good way.
People are
Weirder,
responding
weirder.
positively. Yeah.
We like it that way.
Yeah, it's been good. It's suiting. I think that like it's just I don't know. We could tell. I mean, we could tell after the fuzzy set, like the next day. Some of
The
us
next
didn't
early
get
morning.
Yeah, some of us didn't get a lot of sleep.
The next few hours, really.
But we could tell that like even that morning people were coming up and it was like light bulbs were coming on, like something happened, and I can't quantify it. I can't really like explain it other than it's just
I mean, I can, there's a part for me. I don't know if Zoe feels this way as much. For me, it's just like Ellis is just such a good friend. Like, I mean, it's not like we're hanging out every weekend or whatever, but it's like, a contemporary in the scene, and like we've played together a number of times. So it was like stepping into a gig, especially just being such a different player. It's really validating that people have been so cool with it because we do just like Ellis and I just do such a dramatically different thing that it was like, it's been very nice that everyone's been so cool with it. And, obviously Zoe coming in is adding a whole different level and, yeah.
Donald Vish had said something that created a understanding for me. He said that like what Cody was doing with the bass kind of grounded some of the more like ethereal aspects of what we've been doing in terms of our melodies and the things that we're choosing to write about and stuff like that. That was kind of his take on it. And I resonated with that.
I understand I could totally understand that because the way that Greg plays is not. It's not a rhythm guitar. You're not playing rhythm. You're not a rhythm guitar player. Just da 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 da. You are, but it's in a different way. It's with a lot of rhythmic playing instead of playing a rhythm. If that makes any sense, you're doing a lot.
I get what you mean.
You know what I mean? So
like,
it's syncopated with what you're doing, and now adding Zoe in the mix and adding that syncopation. When you have those, even if you have those parts, to have something that ties you down to what that bottom line is, and does it as well as Cody does, as he should. He plays in 47 bands, so he has plenty of practice. So
Yes.
I think that totally makes sense to me, because the one thing that you all have to have between the three of you all, not only because you're singing now 3-part harmonies, but you're playing a lot of times in 3 different parts, is intent. There's so much intent in what you guys are doing. Nothing is by accident. And when I'm listening to it and I'm diving into what each of you are doing, even you, Cody, although you're holding it down, it is, there's intent to every note that you play. And when you have that, and then when you buy into each other the way that I think you guys do, and you can see it in the way they play. You can see it in the intensity of the way you sing. You can see it in the way, there was one part on one of the third or fourth song, I'm not sure which song it was, when Emily and Cody were connecting, and they were just kind of hooked on these parts. And plenty of times when you all were, but you can tell that not only does that intent create a different type of bond, it creates these songs that people lean into. And I don't know if it isn't going to happen if you all put that effort into it, because I think people understand it. They buy in, they lean in. And more than anything, like, you all, there's nothing I can say, here's what they sound like. Here's what I would point you in a direction of it's so original and so unique. It's intense, but it's fun. It's, I don't know. I think
it's just fucking cool.
It's so cool.
You all, I mean, I don't have a big vocabulary. That's how I would describe it. I've been telling Neil about you all since I've been on the podcast. As I've been done like 30 episodes, and you all came up one day, and I'm like, you got to get these dudes on. They're like the coolest band around. Like, there's a lot of, I've done like 35 episodes now, and like there's a few that stand out, and like you all, the same way you stood out at Fuzzy Pig, stood out today too. Like, such a cool sound. Like, your voice is so like haunting. All these songs are, you're
Greg's
just, the way you all play are
really
very
beautiful.
professional. Like, I mean, I love like the Mama Said string band, and those are such professional musicians. I feel like you all just play like pros, and it's cool to hear. It's cool to see. These songs are intricate, but they draw you in. Like, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Like, I had a really busy weekend, and I drove like over 1,000 miles this week, and I made sure to come back for this because I was like, I'm not missing you all on here.
I mean, so much of it is, energy. Like, to you, like, obviously, like, we've, like, Greg and I have known each other peripherally. We played shows and other bands together, and
my old band we played with He's Dead Jim.
And you and I know each other from random stuff and like your art and whatnot. Like, so like the energy stuff, like, for me, that was a big part of me joining the band. It's like, initially I was like, okay, I'll fill in when it was that offer was put up, and I messaged you and was like, I'll just hold it down until you guys get someone who's more qualified than I can.
Which is like, Cody is being modest right now.
I mean, that's
not very bass player like Cody.
I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, you fit in great. Like, I talked to Emily and Greg. I saw you all at like a party, like way back right when Ellis like quit the band, and I remember saying like, you all are so cool. Like, I'm sure you'll find like
I remember
a fucking
that conversation.
killer bass player. Like, someone will who's
We were hanging out
really
with
good.
Molly's Midnight Villains that night.
I'm like, I know someone will want to play in your all's band because you all are a cool fucking band. And then you came in, and when I saw you all at Fuzzy Pig, I was not expecting you, Zoe. And like, I was sitting side stage, and when you got out that accordion, I was like, I gotta get closer. I gotta get this shit up close. So I moved up front. It was like a whole new sound to something that already seemed so different and cool, and it's even more different and cool now. I know that's maybe a simple way to describe it, but it really is. You all are just
campaigning the songs
badass.
on Spotify was very hard.
Yeah.
Because you have to select like your genre from the different boxes or whatever.
and we float in and out of genre so much.
What do we do here?
I call it
it's folk, kind of.
I call it Louisville, Kentucky and Louisville original music, man. There's so much music around this Louisville scene and even Kentucky scene, from far eastern to up here. It is such a wide, unbelievable range of original awesome music. I don't know what you call it, but it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a hell of a time on playlist like pitching, because I'm pretty countryish, and still I'll get most of my stuff is either like it's too country for the playlist or it's not country enough. I don't know what they would tell you all. Like, it'd be like, this is like
sometimes it's like the intro was too long, and classical instruments, like what's going on right now, like they don't really know either. So it's just it's hard, man.
Yeah, like we kind of do. Like, I mean, Big Bad Wolf is bluesy, and I really love like singing in that kind of vein. But then Steps, like I decided that I was going to write like an emo or punk song, and so that actually like when Cody joined the band, that one really like came together too.
I think the alternate title for that one was emo song.
Yeah, you called it the emo song for a really long time
before it became like an actual thing.
I was upset that many of my favorite emo bands have been canceled for their poor choices.
I saw a meme about that earlier. Yeah.
So I decided I was going to write one, and I don't know. It's just like we write for what the mood is, and
that keeps
moods
you
change, and we reflect that.
I find that keeps you it keeps you free from being boxed in. You don't box yourself in if you go wherever this takes us, whatever the song needs at this point. If you just don't anticipate it, you don't force it in a direction and allow it to just go where it goes. I think that's how you guys end up with a lot of the stuff that you tend to end up with. And then, I don't know, have you all written as the four of you?
You're going to the place where I was about to go.
Well, no, not yet.
I'm super excited to see the collaborative effort of like the actual new 4-piece.
Yeah,
because
well, before you go there, Greg, I mean, like, like it is a really like liberating thing. Like I've been doing the fill-in thing for a long time, and like I'm like you've been also a million bands, and like at least for me, it was a really nice thing to like come into the band and everyone be like, hey. Because I had trepidation being like, I'm gonna fuck this band up, but
I may have sent a message that was a little like intense.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, I don't want to be the one to fuck this band up. Be like clearly they're gonna get a better bass player than
he has
I am.
nightmares about it still.
I'm still, yeah, it's still, there's trepidation. But,
I don't know why he keeps saying this, but
yeah, it's just like, you don't
You'll
want
eventually feel
you don't
like
want to
you
mess
belong.
up a good thing, and like,
Maybe.
I can totally
you
relate.
definitely like. I get that.
Yeah,
like,
so-
I mean, everyone's their own toughest critic, so I relate to that. But the more I thought about what like our goal was for like the impact that we wanted to make musically, like the more it made sense both for both Zoe and Cody to be joining.
Yeah, I agree. It fits. I mean, like we feel it.
Oh, it fits
People
big time. It's cool.
are. Yeah, like it's. I think that it's hit harder than we intended.
Well, I've been trying to get here for a little bit because you got the ultimate utility knife in Zoe over here that not only complements what you're doing, but probably challenges what you're doing.
Yes.
Musically, which has to be.
Let me tell you about how she challenges
I
us
got-
musically.
I mean,
This girl
you can tell
is
she's an
on
absolute
top
pro.
of us.
I mean,
Zoe's
it's no
been
doubt
getting
about it.
together.
She's been making me.
and-
She's been making me rehearse like 3 times a
she's
week.
Our
Like it's
regulator.
crazy.
She's our
We used to only
regulator.
rehearse like when we needed to, and
I-
Zoe's hit me up like,
Every
"We're gonna
week.
rehearse this
And
week. Like,
it's
what's
just
going
fun.
on?" I'm like,
I am a
let's stay tight. My
nerd of the
calluses.
process,
Yeah.
so I love it.
I don't like the process, but I want to. I want to take. I don't know. It's tough. Like
It's hard to
we've
balance.
gotten to do a lot of like random shit together, so it's like really
My
nice.
calluses
It's
have
hard to
never been
balance
better,
your
and
life
a lot of that I
commitments
attribute
and
to
stuff,
Zoe
it's-
directly.
I understand.
So Zoe, what coming into this group, you got some, with all due respect, a couple pros when it comes to songwriting and putting together not only the lyrics but the music and matching that thing up. My neighbor, who is a 70-some-odd-year-old retired elementary school teacher, taught me how to listen to music. Really taught me how to listen to music, and one of the things he always taught was how the lyrics and the music make sense and match, what you guys do so well. So you're coming into a group that has this established, just bona fide, amazing songwriting. And then you add all these flavors that, I can't unhear. I can't unhear what you
Right.
do.
Yeah,
Because
it's in there now.
it's
There's
in
no
there.
going
You-
back.
So when you were approached to come in to the mix, one, how do you what is your initial thought about that? And then once you get in the group and start really exploring the sounds you can create with these guys, how did that open up what you do?
So I had been a fan of the band for a while.
Hard not to be, sure.
She came to so many shows.
So I went to a lot of shows, and when the opportunity presented itself to audition for an instrumentalist position, I definitely took it.
And we were so overjoyed.
Could you not? I mean, like, number one, she already knew the songs.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was wild.
I mean, it's like anything else. If you're showing up in a space, like that goes for anything. That goes for volunteering. That goes for finding a job. That goes for music. Like if you're showing up and loving
there's
it,
a passion behind it.
That's a big indicator to me that like there's some chemistry there that should be pursued.
I didn't go to every show, but I went to a couple, and
Yeah.
Cody was out every now and then.
Cody, yeah, like you all came to our show. Let's see, was it in September? I can't remember. We played at Al's. Sorry.
I barely remember.
We played at
I
Al's
don't
in
remember
September.
anything.
You all had done like burlesque stuff before, and then you and Laura came over.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But I was just to piggyback off Zoe's like, I mean, like she really was like, oh, I want to be in this band, like, because I knew Zoe, I know you all, and I knew Zoe outside of the band, so she was like, I really want to like do this band. And
all right, so
like, you should do that.
As you get that audition, right? You get the audition to step in and be an instrumentalist. When you do that, and I'm sure you know these songs, you nail the parts. Are you coming in with your own ideas? What are you playing? What are you doing? And then, like, what's that feel like as you're getting? All right, let's run it. Let's see what happens. Are you freaking out?
Yeah, actually, I'm not normally nervous when I play, but I was shaking when I was trying to do the audition.
Which is nuts because
which made us feel like we were like.
A freaking
no.
I mean, she's a pro.
Hang on. We got Zoe's audition. Not only does she know the songs, she knows them on like 5 instruments.
Yeah. We didn't even caveat that.
Yeah. So it's like, all right.
What would you like me to play on this song?
That's exactly what
Wild.
she said. Word for word.
Are you serious?
How did you know?
Is that real?
Yeah,
no
pretty
kidding.
much. Yeah, pretty much.
Zoe, how did you like decide which instrument that you wanted to play on certain songs? Was there like anything to that?
And could you hear them all? Like in your head, could you go, well, I could play any of them because I could hear every instrument.
There were some songs that I definitely heard flute on more than others because I thought of like different kinds of counter melodies and harmonies that I could do with Emily.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the one that is like the pirate song, 1793.
So like Steps is the emo song. 1793 is the pirate song.
I definitely was like, I would love to play accordion on this song.
Yeah, which why? Once you think, yeah.
If you can play accordion, why wouldn't you?
I would say
it's turned into a straight sea shanty.
And if she had a hurdy-gurdy, then that would be
next level.
Obvious choice. But
Greg's always going for what's the next level we can get at.
Got to get to the next level. I like the way his brain works. I'm glad I caught you all in this form first.
I'm so glad you did too. This feels like really true. Like for me personally, prior to this project, I played in a project called Heirloom Symphony with Jared Hamilton and Thomas Keithley in Lexington, and we called our stuff dark folk because Jared would play guitar, Thomas would play banjo, and I would play fiddle in. I'm blending them together in one word. So Jared listened to a lot of metal, so like Sleep and other bands like that. And so he would incorporate these like very percussive stops lyrics into our music, similar to kind of what some of the things that Greg does in his songwriting. And so I was in that project, and then I was in a blues sludge rock project called Fox Talk.
Oh yeah.
And so
Sounds awesome.
I had been, yeah, it was.
I never saw that. What?
Man, well, okay, it was. Listen, some candles burn bright and fast, and then they burn out, and that was one of them. Like it was like it was a damn good time.
That was the reason that we met.
That was the reason that Greg and I met, and that's why I brought it up.
My other good friend Joseph Wallen was the drummer in that project.
Yeah, Alexandra Hawkins, who also trying to remember. Anyway, she was the front woman of that project, and you probably she was with the Rough Customers for a little while.
Oh yeah.
So like I had been doing that. So like when Greg approached me about making music and stuff, like this felt true to kind of the trajectory that I had been on. And I feel very like I just am so grateful to be in a room with these fine folks and making music with them, because this is the most fulfilled I've ever felt playing music.
Yeah, I'm super excited and interested to see where the songwriting goes from here.
There's a bunch of stuff in the backlogs and in the works in progress, and there's a ton of stuff. I mean, me and Zoe, we rehearse all the time, like we were saying. She'll be hitting me up like, let's rehearse.
If I lived in Lexington, I'd be on
We've jammed on some of the we've jammed on some of the works in progress, and Emily's definitely heard some of this stuff too. But I mean, when everybody writes too, like Zoe was like, "Oh, this is this accordion thing that I wrote," and it's like, "Whoa, like what?" Like, well, all right,
yeah,
sick.
That's gonna be
like that's what I'm interested in.
That's gonna be the cool next chapter.
The next chapter of, hey, I got this thing.
I'm super excited
for all parts. Because I still feel as solidified as you guys are and sound. I can't wait for time to do its thing. Those sessions between you guys when you are like, hey, they hit me up, and you two end up doing some stuff and something weird comes out of it, or when you actually do get together as a group and start with a blank piece of paper and see what happens. I'm super excited for those moments for you guys, because I can see that your brains are going to do some crazy things with what's that.
We've actually been having a lot of conversations about this like exact thing recently. And it's like, okay, so like all this material was here, like everything was already here, and Zoe and Cody have kind of jumped on board, and they're working with like the architecture of it already exists, and it's like me and Emily doing our things. Like we didn't really change too much. We haven't adapted a whole lot. They've kind of just formed around like what was already there.
Yeah.
Texture. I think that was the word you used. Texture.
It's like, so now exactly. So what's going to happen when we start building the structure from the ground up with everyone, and like their parts become more nuanced, or like, or the way that we all are working together maybe becomes more nuanced and more like intentional, instead of kind of them filling into what's there. Instead of it's going to be something that was written taking them into account, and them also having an equal voice in, the textures that we're creating. Yeah, it's going to be. I think I'm very excited.
Yeah, we might even we might have to schedule a little writers retreat.
So I'm saying, man, you got to do something. You can't just let it go. Goodness
Snug Hollow or something.
I mean, I will say, like, it has been really nice to like step into, like, I've filled in a number of times, and it's nice to start as a fill-in musician, become a member, and then the material not be so sacred as you cannot do your own thing. Like that was very, like, I mean, obviously there are certain things like,
there's going to be hits and pauses and stops and stuff. Of course. I mean, yeah.
Well, like I hadn't done this genre for a number of years. So it was kind of going back to a different thing that I'd
from that mustache. I can tell you play punk.
But
yeah,
get that on
the
mic. But yeah, I mean, it's like, doing a lot of that, and then there's a lot of experimental stuff. Like I've done, I think I get associated a lot in Lexington as an experimental player.
See what you did there, sir. It wasn't. It was. It wasn't like I'm experimental play. What's up? I got the game.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, just
that was just how good he is.
No, I'm just I do a lot of texture and odd sounds and stuff is like my proclivity. So.
You were mentioning kind of between takes and everything earlier that you did live impromptu something or other.
Yeah, I do a lot of improv. I mean, Zoe and I have collaborated a number of times. We're in a couple other projects together.
So is that stuff you record, or is it just, hey, let's just get together and play?
Yeah. Yes.
Sweet.
Yes to both.
All right.
Yeah. We're in another band that I'm putting on hiatus soon, but we're also kind of in another band we haven't done a lot with. And
Cody, tell us what bands
He'll
you're
be down
in.
to 6.
I don't want to do that. No, I'll do it.
Please do.
So Zoe and I recorded a record, an EP for my solo stuff in January that hasn't come out yet, but that's called Old Man Hermes. That's what I perform on a solo. I've been in a band in Lexington called He's Dead Jim for a number of years. It's like a folk punk kind of thing.
That's where we first met.
Yeah. I've been in a band called Corporate Mascot for a number of years. That started as a duo, as like a spoken word noise thing. We added a drummer. We added Zoe. Zoe does flute in that band and second bass on a couple songs.
Second base.
Zoe is also an
want y'all to
player.
feel that.
Zoe also plays
for a
bass.
second.
It's heavy whenever you have to have a second base.
Yeah, Zoe and I also, we haven't got the time to do it recently because we've been busy, but Bridget's Day is our duo, Zoe and I's duo. I am in Caravan Discordia. I play guitar in that band.
Hey, man.
Who am I forgetting? Oh, Period Sex.
All right. It may be easier. This may be easier, Cody. Name all the bands you don't play in Lexington.
So I didn't want to.
3.
I didn't want to. Yeah.
Well, I like to get it out front there because I think that provides context for folks who might be listening who might have heard of or even been at a show, one of those shows.
For sure.
But yeah. Well, the time back thing is like, it wasn't like a, hey, do what you want, like do what we say, that's it kind of thing. It was like a very welcoming environment for me, and I think Zoe would agree.
We basically tried to create as much space as possible for them. Like, yeah, obviously, like, yeah, the key of the song is this, or like whatever, like you said, stops and pauses and whatever.
There's
a few places where there are like very syncopated things, but otherwise, I mean, yeah, tried to again, like we do talk about this stuff, and it's something that Emily and I care about a lot. Is like everyone who's in the band.
Everyone has a seat at the table.
We want everyone to take ownership. We want for this to be like a whole thing. Yeah. So it's not like yes, we're like the veteran members, but like these guys.
In order for it to be the most fun time ever, we all have to feel equally like established in it,
Well, and satiated. Like, you don't want to join a band and they be like, some megalomaniac band leader is telling you exactly what to do and how to play and like what, nobody's going to have a fun time in that situation.
Yeah.
So that's not what we want to do. Like, we're all friends. It's more genuine this way. Everyone is expressing more genuinely and just getting everything. It's the give and the return, and it just full circle. It just creates the whole thing. You know what I mean?
I would imagine
it's important.
I'm here to hang out.
Yeah, I'm here for the hang.
Yeah,
I'd imagine as an existing member who thinks that way, that is very, very true in the way you think. As a new member coming in, it takes probably a little bit more time to feel, not that that's true, but that, hey, I am 25% of this band, especially if, like, in your all's cases, you've been to shows, you've done this thing, you're coming in, there's probably still a little tentativeness, probably not anymore, but at the beginning, I'm sure there was a little bit of that, like, holy shit, I'm 25% of this 4-piece band, I mean, but I think once time kind of has evolved and you guys are where you are now, that becomes easier for the new members to feel that. Because I've been a new member of a band. Spencer's been a new member of a band.
Mm-hmm.
Earl, I don't know.
New member of my band.
As a new member, there's part of that. You got to go. All right, how much can I really? I'd like to do this, but let me just play this part real quick until So the fact that you're excited to get to this next chapter and go, okay, these things are done. Let's see where this goes from here. And we get in this room and make music, or we have that retreat at a for a couple nights at at a lake in a lake house.
We're gonna have
and
to
just
go
get a chill,
do a writer's camp out.
something.
Desert for
That's exciting as somebody who listens, and I'm sure like for the Zoe who's was at shows before. I'm sure if you were still on the other side of this and you were a fan and you knew that the future of what was getting ready to happen was involving this really cool new bass player that played all the right things, that held it down, and this multi-instrumentalist that does all these intricate things, that kind of ties in these pieces, adds this third part, does these super things. How excited you'd be to like see what that next thing is.
Yes.
And you're the reason that I think a lot of people are excited for that, because adding that other part and adding Cody and adding you guys, it's just like I said before all that. I'm so glad I caught you where I caught you right now in the format that you're in, because I do believe that you guys are going to stick in this, and the future is so exciting for what you're going to create, the shows that you are going to be a part of. Like, dude,
we do have some upcoming shows that I would like to
tell us.
mention really quick while we're on the air. So we're going to be doing a fun run up to Cleveland, Ohio next weekend. We met in I think Greg and I were playing together at the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame
2020.
in 2020.
Yeah.
And we met a man named Brian Bacon. He's an amazing singer-songwriter who plays keyboard. And so a couple of years ago, we did a little run up to Ohio, and
he's based out of Cleveland, so
he's based out of
that's
Cleveland
the connect
too.
or whatever.
Yeah. So he's just amazing, and so we're excited to go reconnect with him. We're going to play a show at Coda Friday night, and then on the Saturday we're going to
Richmond, Indiana, and then Dayton.
Yeah. We're playing at a library.
Yeah, so maybe still some uncertainties,
in the afternoon.
But like our other friend Joe Augustin plays under the name of
Achilles Tenderloin.
That's a great name.
Yes,
Achilles Tenderloin.
He's
Tenderloin.
Joe fucking rocks. He's like the
very
nicest
clever songwriter,
guy.
very whimsical, very
does so
bluesy.
much for his own locality of music up there, and we happened to meet him because of Eric and because of
Eric booked Achilles Tenderloin at Al's Bar, and also
and
Mo
pulled us in and mentioned us as a local, so we ended up meeting. Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that.
Eric's a homie I'm also in a band with.
Yes, he's
right on.
Who just started playing accordion with Carrie Nation and the Speakeasy.
He's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
international tour.
I don't know if he's in Europe right now or not.
Like, how are we gonna plug all the homies? Like, I don't know. Like, it's hard. I don't want to miss anybody. But Eric,
we're trying to be.
I love
it. A lot of friends.
Acknowledge everybody. But yeah, we're doing that run up to Ohio, and then the following weekend we're gonna go to one of our favorite places in the whole wide world, which is Wiley's Last Resort on the top of Pine Mountain in eastern Kentucky, in Whitesburg, Kentucky. And we're going to be playing Mars Fest there.
Awesome.
And
that's
beautiful. Always a good time.
It's not something that you can describe. You kind of have to see it.
Yeah. If anybody out there is like, man, I need to like get away for a weekend and completely go on vacay mode, come to Mars Fest. It's June 14th through the 16th. And the property that it's on is like just gorgeous. It's like almost like temperate rainforesty at times, and it's a beautiful space. Great people, great music, lots of local talent being represented.
Where's Mars Fest?
It's Pine Mountain. It's like Wiley's Last Resort, which does, if you type that into Google Maps.
Eastern Kentucky?
It is.
Yeah,
yes,
it's very southeast Kentucky.
It's about as far southeast as you can go.
I tell you what, man, we've had some amazing artists on from Eastern Kentucky. Emily Jamerson, Hunter Flynn, those guys. There's so many amazing artists that are from down that way. My God.
Yeah, that's a beautiful venue. I went to Swarptober, and that's
Swarptober,
one of my
yes.
favorite festivals I've ever been to, and I had a great weekend.
Quite literally played that one. Yeah.
There's just a lot of heavy bands that are coming out of that area right now. That are just insane. Like Buzzhound is like the
Appalachia Chart.
And speaking of heavy bands, the other festival we're playing this summer is Holler of Doom.
Holler of Doom was the next one I was going to say. So
Holler of Doom.
If you like everything that is heavy and psychedelic and stoner rocky, like you should come meet up with us for Holler of Doom.
And we're going to be there.
Yeah, and we can play with like the hippies and the bluegrass guys and the folk guys and the rock guys. And we can jump on a stage with the metal guys. Like we just kind of, we're just kind of in there, you know?
My buddy David Langley puts that on. I mean, all of our buddies, but yeah, I mean, David's a really good dude. He's in a band called Stormtoker. He puts this festival on. Like they're just good dudes.
Damage Therapy will be there.
Yeah, having a really good time in London, Kentucky. Like it's a 420 Urban Road. It's a couple days.
Urban Road.
Well, not HERB.
Oh, urban.
Not herb as in herbs.
Urban. HERB.
The boring urban.
Yeah, it should be Herban. Yeah. That would be better.
Let's put that in the suggestion box.
Put it in the,
Somebody get a can of spray paint real quick.
Well, I would say around that time last year was when you and I started getting like really good friends.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, what do y'all do? What's the next few weeks after that? June, July? Do you got anything going on?
July. That's so. Holler of Doom is in July. That's mid-July. I don't have.
All right.
We'd have to look at the calendar. There's a bunch of stuff on there.
We got going on June 30th.
June 30th.
It's a Sunday. Probably nothing. Y'all are probably just gonna hang out.
Probably gonna be high or drunk.
Nothing is coming to mind.
All right. Well, we have a Top Hill takeover at the Monarch on June 30th. We'd love you guys to headline if you're available.
Hold on.
So,
okay, you do that
you
for
all
the team
can let
here.
me know.
Yeah, I have also Donald's thing.
July 20th?
Is that
June?
June 30th.
Yes.
30th.
So just look at it and let me know.
If my calendar's empty, y'all's calendar's got to
Is
be
it June 30th or July?
30th.
June 30th.
It's a Sunday, June 30th.
What are you doing?
At the Monarch. I mean, where else would you want to play but other than the Monarch?
Oh,
I mean,
we just played there Thursday and it was
the best?
fabulous.
That was ridiculously fun.
Hey, let's bring your pedal
Let's
board.
talk about how awesome Mark is for a second.
Yeah, can we just like give a shout out to Mark?
Mark Roberts is in this.
I just met him. And I was a little inebriated at the end of the night, and we were talking about his like mission, and he was explaining like the history of the venue, and
Wait, was it?
There were hugs involved, and we were having a good time, and he's just such a sweet dude, and that was really good.
Here's the thing, that is exactly who he is. All the time.
Great. It was great.
Yeah.
There's never any. That's just Mark, dude. He's amazing, and the place is amazing. They give us one night every month or so, and
that's rad.
So if y'all are available, we'd love to have you. We'll figure it out, but I'm not going to hold you to it on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
The only thing is,
Zoe over there.
Oh yeah.
Hey, all right, sweet.
Say words.
That's hard.
Yeah.
It'd be like that, yeah.
All right, so hopefully that'll be in the calendar sooner than later. But for anybody that wants to find you, wants to listen to music, wants to see where you're playing, where can they go?
So we have Facebook. We're mostly active there.
Okay.
We also have Instagram.
We try to remember to
the weird pictures and
cross
stuff.
promote on Instagram.
We have a website, SadBlackLab.com.
Mm-hmm. Which Zoe has like one of the things that I just have to like gas her up for really quick is like she has like come and stepped up and like taken on some of like the more clerical aspects of these things,
and so she's just straight killing it.
She's a librarian, so
like I play 7 instruments and I'll take care of your business.
Yeah. So she's keeping that up to date is what I'm really getting at.
That's
so
awesome. If
you find us at SadBlackLab.com or
all right,
follow us on social media.
Zoe's 30%. You get 30. Everybody else 20%. You get 30.
Yeah, she can have my extra 5%.
There you go.
Yeah, it is what it is.
We'll pitch a little more.
7 other bands, man. She gets 30%.
Yeah,
I appreciate you giving it up that easy, though. All right, sorry.
No.
All right, so the best place is Facebook, but you can also go to sadblacklab.com. Spencer Do you have a video over there?
I do.
Oh,
It's
there
been
you go.
falling
There you go,
off.
buddy.
Yeah.
All right, let them know.
But it is Corbin.guitars. I'm a luthier. So if you all need anything, I work on classical strings, so violins, violas, cellos, basses. Work on guitars, and I just started.
And clarinets.
Yeah. I've just started an apprenticeship type thing over at Music and Arts, and I'm learning how to work on horns, woodwinds, and all that stuff. So yeah, if you guys need anything, we also do work on accordions.
If you ever knock
too.
that flute out of tune, you might let them fix it.
My tailor actually does need some service. I've never had it like looked at since I bought it in 2015, and I've played the shit out of it that whole time.
Well, I'm actually a Taylor certified Silver Plus technician, so I got all the
It'll
shims,
be under
got all the
warranty,
stuff
dude.
for
Serendipity
you.
is with us tonight.
Yep.
All right, Earl, what about you, buddy?
Yeah,
Where
Earl
can they get
Bowman
you?
music anywhere.
And you will have a new YouTube video coming out on what's the YouTube channel?
It is called Basement Boys Productions with Chris Hunt Jr. I went out to Virginia this weekend. I drove
1,100 miles.
1,100 miles round trip to do like 4 songs, and my songs are short as shit. And so it took like an hour and a half, and then I just drove home. It was a long time, but it was cool. It was fun. Dude's a cool dude, and like I said, if you all weren't coming on, I might have stayed one more night and missed the podcast because there was a lot of driving. But I was going to make it back for this one.
That's true. I did. He sent the text that, hey man, heading out there. It's going to be a while. I'll be back tomorrow. I should be there in time. I said, dude, I hope you make it back. SadBlackLab, it's going to be crazy. And he said, I'll be back. Don't worry.
Like I said,
I'll be back.
I've been talking about you all for so long, and I feel like the new members make you all somehow even better than you were. I've been like, ever since I saw y'all play the first, and I've known Greg, you, and Emily for quite a while now, and I've liked y'all's band for a long time, and I feel like you have something very special. I feel like that's the reason people gravitate towards your sets, like a Fuzzy Pig, and I'm sure everywhere you play, people like lean in. It's hard not to.
No doubt.
Even when I was listening with the headphones on, at one point, I just took them off. I'm like, I just want to hear what they sound like in this room for a minute, because you all are. It's a very cool band. I'm just, it was, no matter what, I was going to, unless something just fucking crazy came up, I was going to be here for this one. So, I think you all have
no
one of
flat
those
tires,
around.
baby. You made it. No speeding tickets. You didn't go to jail. You're here.
Made it.
So, all right, check out the podcast on Top Hill
everything.
Recording. Yeah,
And
YouTube. Subscribe
to everybody. It takes a second. Just hit the button.
Come on.
Just hit a follow. It just takes a minute.
You guys, we appreciate you. Definitely love you.
If there's anybody out there that's listening right now and you want to book a show together, hit us up.
Oh, we'll get you right now. We're booking shows right now. All right. Yeah.
I'll do a show with y'all anytime.
All right, you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.